You and H are both white, yeah? And you lot, I feel like you lot are judged in the urban scene that is predominantly black. Do you feel like, when people say like, oh, because I know that I've seen things like, oh, you only made it, or you only going this far so quick because you're white. How does that actually make you feel? Because I think you're talented. I actually listen to your music, I think it's cold. But how does that actually make you feel? Because I couldn't imagine working so hard, building something, and then someone actually discrediting me because of the colour of my skin.
What'd you say? You're a donut!
I think everybody's entitled to their opinion, and they might have gone through an experience where like they feel like their brethren's just as hard as me, but because they've come from X, Y, and Z backgrounds, that they haven't made it, and they might feel that that's why I have made it. Obviously, I know that isn't, but they don't know all the hard work I've put in. All they've seen is, have you seen the state of ARRDEE? And bang! So to them, it looks like it's come out of nowhere, and it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. And I feel like there's truths and falses to both of it. Like I feel like in my opinion, I feel like it's definitely harder to break in because you have to get that acceptance from the urban community. That's what rap is. That's where rap like comes from. And you have to get London to verify you, and you have to get London to take you into the scene. But also, unfairly as well, like once you're part of labels and like this mad industry and all these publishers and all of that, in their head, because they can relate to you more, and like I'm from their world.
That's real.
Oh yeah, well, he might be easier to work with, and that's not even the case. I've met a bag of rappers that have come from backgrounds are some of the nicest people I've ever met, and I've met people from the nicest backgrounds that I've got rich like mum and dads and live in a big house on the hills in the country, and they're so.
Actually, I don't give a shit. What's good, my lake and me? Welcome back to another lovely, beautiful, sexy, amazing video. The equally lovely, equally beautiful, equally sexy, and equally amazing LiTTy already know what time it is. Now let's go. Now guys, in today's video, we are going to be discussing whether or not Aitch and Arrdee became successful because of the color of their skin. And we're going to break this down in way more detail, but already know what you got to do. You just got to like, comment, subscribe, to be up to date, and drop a banger like this one. And hit that noty, because you're in an so you can be the first to know when one of these videos comes out. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, if you didn't already know, rapper ARRDEE appeared on the Spill the Juice podcast, where he was asked how he felt about people saying that rappers like him and Aitch have only achieved the high level of mainstream success that they have because of the color of their skin.
You and H are both white, yeah? So I know that I've seen things like, oh, you only made it, or you only going this far so quick because you're white. How does that actually make you feel? 'Cause I couldn't imagine working so hard, building something, and then someone actually discrediting me because of the colour of my skin.
I don't know what kind of herb from Jamaica you've been smoking.
To which ARRDEE responded saying,
they might feel that that's why I have made it. Obviously, I know that isn't, but they don't know all the hard work I've put in. All they've seen is, have you seen the state of ARRDEE? And bang! So to them, it looks like it's come out of nowhere, and it takes 10 years to become an overnight success.
And yes, you did hear a black guy saying to a white guy that he can't imagine working hard and then being discredited for the color of his skin.
Are you dumb, stupid, or dumb? Huh?
Maybe we are in the Matrix. I don't know.
I don't know.
But as I said, the question of this video is, did Aitch and Arrdee make it because of the color of their skin? And honestly, I think that's a multifaceted analysis. I think at face value, that statement is very easy to say. There's a bit of evidence to support this being the case. We obviously know that they both got their big break, their big blow up from the Russ remixes. For Aitch, it was the Keisha and Becky remix.
Both hands on the back when I tap it, grab it and slap it, Becky a savage.
And for Arrdee, it was of course the Body remix.
Have you seen the state of her body? If I beat it, I ain't wearing a Johnny.
Of course, both the verses were cold and both the verses were catchy, but that, as well as the fact that they were the only Caucasian rappers on the tune, and they were hard Caucasian rappers. So there are some elements of that are true, but I just don't think it's as simple as the color of their skin. I think if we do want to make that statement, then we have to look at examples of where this has happened before in history. Now, of course, in the past in America, people like Eminem were running the game. Vanilla Ice had his little moment. And now in modern times, we have people like Macklemore coming in and beating Kendrick for the Grammy, which I'll never get over. Jack Harlow's, of course, popping right now. G-Eazy, and people like that are fitting the new age of Caucasian rapper and satisfying that need, I guess. But in the UK, there's not really been anyone who's broken the mold like the aforementioned gentleman. I mean, yeah, we had Professor Green and people like that, but he was a bit more commercial. He was making radio tunes. I don't think Professor Green ever had the streets in a chokehold or anything like that. And you know, this is coming from a part-time driller. I can honestly say I never heard no Professor Green in OT or in the bando, you know what I mean?
$100,000 for the cheapest ring on the nigga finger, little bitch.
So I don't think it's entirely fair to say that it's just because of the colour of their skin when we have no history in the UK of white rappers excelling both in the streets and commercially in the same way that ARRDEE and Aitch have both done. If we take a holistic look at this, it feels like rap music is one of the few places where black people are actually dominating, and we are essentially the gatekeepers per se. We have the power to decide what's hot and what's not, and like if they're not rocking with a certain artist, a certain rap artist, then essentially he's probably not going to do well. Unless, as I said, you go the Professor Green route and become a pop rapper. But I don't think you'll have much success being a pop rapper in the UK nowadays. I think that era has well and truly sailed.
Yeah, that's true. Now let's go back to my nigger on the floor.
However, on the other side of this argument, and ARRDEE mentioned this in his interview too, I think once you have broken through the mold, like once you've been accepted by the black community, by the streets, then I think all bets are off at that point. Because like you're in the game now, you're on the chessboard now, you're there with everyone else. And if you're a Caucasian rapper, then you're probably gonna do extremely well. I mean, let's be honest, we've seen Aitch and Arrdee come in and they've done better in their first years than some UK rappers have done in their entire careers. Let's keep it a buck.
I'm just saying.
I mean, in Aitch's first year, he had 2 top 10 singles. One of those nearly hit #1, it reached #2, both of which songs are platinum. ARRDEE in his first year also had 2 top 10 hits, and one of those is platinum as well. Compare that with someone like Ghetts, who's literally been in the game for, it will be 20 years this year, and has only had 1 song even hit the top 50, and that song was Skengman featuring Stormzy. So he only really got that because of the Stormzy clout and the Stormzy feature. Let's be real.
If you ain't got it by now, then you just ain't getting it.
I mean, yes, I know these 2 gentlemen are very talented, don't get it twisted. They make good songs with catchy hooks, and they're themselves, which is all we can ever ask for, and all that good stuff. But a lot of rappers in the UK with good songs and with catchy hooks, and they're themselves too. And you know where they are right now? The bando. They're on bando baby 27 times. They're with M2 Trappy and Skeng Daddy 69. They're not making it out the hood. And I also think we do have to take into account that, yeah, we do live in a predominantly Caucasian country, and so as ARRDEE said in the interview, I'm sure there are a lot of individuals who want to dip their toe into UK rap music, and if they see someone like ARRDEE who essentially looks like them on the front cover of a single, they will be more inclined to listen to him compared to someone that looks like Dave, for example. And I know that's a very ignorant and problematic statement to make, and I genuinely hope that not everyone is making their listening preferences based on the color of an artist's skin, but we have to be real and we have to be honest, and if I'm gonna have this conversation, I have to have it properly and genuinely that there are a lot of racists out there. Like, there's a lot of unconscious bias as well. It might not even be racist, it might just be subconscious bias. So I think the answer to the question of this video is yes and no. I think for both Aitch and ARRDEE, it was basically right place, right time. They both, of course, got their big breaks from featuring on a Rush tune, and the verses that they made went viral. And these did go viral, you know, to be very candid and honest, because people saw a Caucasian guy with bars surrounded by black people, and he was holding his own with them. Let's be real. Let's just keep it honest. And especially ARRDEE, who was saying that he wanted an Adiola. Like, let's be honest, like that part of the culture was what helped propel both of those verses. Once they got that spot, once they got the spotlight, then yeah, they were able to capitalize on it, and the color of their skin did make it a lot easier for them to capitalize on it. But prior to that right place, right time moment, the odds were actually stacked against them because of the color of their skin. So essentially, until you get that big moment, that big hit, that big feature, that big verse, if you're a Caucasian rapper in the UK, they aren't really trying to hear your ting. But once you take your moment and you own it, then it's a lot easier for you to flourish because of the colour of your skin. But in the words of Heady One,
It's a bit of a sticky one still.
let me know if you think about this in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on the road to 2,000 subs, you already know what time it is. You can follow my personal IG at the only LiTTyENT. If you care about what I do, I'm not making these bangers for you. Stay black, and if you're not black, stay whatever race you are. I bet. Peace.
Oh, you ain't know I could sing.